Pastor Samuel leads a lively and vibrant church in the bustling city of Accra, Ghana. His presence is a beacon of hope and joy for many. His sermons are renowned for their passion and humor. He has a unique ability to connect with people on a deep level. He makes them laugh, he makes them think, and he makes them reflect on their lives. One day, Pastor Samuel did something completely unexpected that left everyone in awe. He announced a groundbreaking new initiative called Learning from Our Muslim Neighbors. This announcement took many in his congregation by surprise. They whispered among themselves, trying to grasp the significance of this new direction. Christianity and Islam have coexisted in Ghana for centuries, sharing the same streets and neighborhoods, but often there's more separation than understanding between these two communities. They live side by side, yet worlds apart. Pastor Samuel wanted to change that narrative. He envisioned a community where understanding and mutual respect thrived. He believed that learning about Islam could enrich the faith of his Christian community, fostering a deeper sense of empathy and unity. He wanted to build bridges, not walls. This decision sparked a wave of curiosity. Some members were apprehensive, unsure of what to expect. Others were intrigued and eager to learn. Pastor Samuel, with his characteristic warmth and compassion, encouraged his congregation to embrace this new journey. He reminded them of Jesus' timeless message of love and compassion for all people, regardless of their faith or background. He urged them to approach this journey with open hearts and open minds, ready to learn and grow together as a community. It's easy to build walls, especially walls of misunderstanding. This is true all over the world, and it's true in Ghana. Sometimes fear and misinformation overshadow shared values. Stereotypes take root, divisions deepen. Christians and Muslims in Ghana share a common heritage of faith in God. They believe in prayer, compassion, and justice. Yet misconceptions persist on both sides. This leads to mistrust and prejudice. It prevents meaningful dialogue. Pastor Samuel recognized these walls. He knew that fear thrives in the absence of knowledge. He decided to tear down these walls, brick by brick. He wanted to replace fear with understanding, prejudice with respect. His tool? Simple curiosity. Pastor Samuel had a plan. A simple but powerful plan. He encouraged his congregation to experience Islam firsthand. He challenged them to step outside their comfort zones, to engage with their Muslim neighbors, to ask questions, to listen, to learn. He organized visits to the local mosque. He invited imams to speak at the church. He created opportunities for dialogue and shared meals. He wanted his congregation to see the humanity in their Muslim neighbors, to recognize the common ground they shared. This wasn't about converting anyone. It was about understanding. It was about building relationships. It was about recognizing the richness and beauty of different faiths. It was about realizing that despite differences, love and respect can prevail. Pastor Samuel decided to lead by example. He visited the local mosque himself. He wanted to experience Islamic practices firsthand. He wanted to understand the faith that his Muslim brothers and sisters held dear. He was greeted with warmth and hospitality. The imam explained the significance of the mosque. He described the beauty of Islamic prayers. He shared stories from the Quran. Pastor Samuel listened intently. He asked thoughtful questions. This visit left a deep impression on Pastor Samuel. He witnessed the power of faith. He felt the sincerity of the imam's words. He realized that despite differences in religious practices, both faiths shared a core message of love, peace, and submission to God. He returned to his church inspired and eager to share his experience. Pastor Samuel shared his experiences with his congregation. He spoke about the beauty of Islamic prayers. He described the discipline of fasting during Ramadan. He highlighted the respect shown towards elders in the Muslim community. He saw opportunities for his own congregation to learn and grow. He spoke about the importance of dedicated prayer times. He reflected on the value of fasting as a form of spiritual discipline. He emphasized the need for greater respect towards elders within the Christian community. He presented these observations not as criticisms, but as opportunities for reflection and growth. Pastor Samuel's words resonated with his congregation. They started seeing their Muslim neighbors in a new light. They realized that, despite different rituals, their faiths shared common values. This realization sparked a new wave of understanding and respect within the community. Pastor Samuel's initiative posed important questions. Could Christians benefit from incorporating dedicated prayer times into their daily lives? Could fasting, a practice common to both faiths, become a source of spiritual growth? Could they learn from the respect shown towards elders in the Muslim community? These were not challenges to abandon Christian beliefs. They were invitations to deepen faith by learning from another. They were opportunities to build bridges of understanding. They were reminders that faith is a journey, not a destination. This open-mindedness resonated with many in the congregation. They began incorporating some of these practices into their lives. They found beauty in diversity. They discovered that faith could be enriched through understanding and respecting other traditions. Pastor Samuel knew that misconceptions can hinder understanding. He addressed common myths about Islam head-on. He spoke about Islam as a religion of peace, just as Christianity is. He emphasized the shared values of compassion, charity, and justice. He reminded his congregation that judging an entire faith based on the actions of a few is wrong. He stressed the importance of separating the message from the messenger. He encouraged his congregation to challenge their own biases and prejudices. This message of tolerance and understanding resonated deeply within the community. It fostered a spirit of unity and respect. It encouraged people to look beyond their differences and embrace their shared humanity. Pastor Samuel's journey is an inspiration. His dedication to fostering understanding and unity within the community is truly remarkable. Through his sermons and actions, he has shown us the power of compassion and empathy. It's a call to action for all of us. A call to not just listen, but to actively participate in creating a more inclusive and understanding world. By joining hands and working together, we can make a significant impact. It reminds us that understanding starts with curiosity. When we take the time to learn about others, to read, to explore different cultures, and to engage in meaningful discussions, we open the door to greater empathy and connection. It urges us to step outside our comfort zones, to try new things, meet new people, and embrace the diversity that surrounds us. This is where true growth and understanding begin. To engage with those who are different from us, to have open and honest conversations, to seek common ground, and to build relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, to listen to their stories. Every person has a unique story to tell, and by listening, we can learn so much about their experiences, struggles, and triumphs. To learn from their experiences. Education is a powerful tool for breaking down barriers and building bridges. By learning together, we can create a more informed and compassionate society. It's a reminder that building bridges is a choice, a conscious decision to connect with others, to understand their perspectives, and to work together towards common goals. It's a choice we can all make. Every day we have the opportunity to choose understanding over ignorance, compassion over indifference, and unity over division. We can choose to tear down walls of prejudice and replace them with bridges of understanding. This requires effort and commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable. We can choose to see the humanity in each other, regardless of our faith, ethnicity, or background. By recognizing our shared humanity, we can foster a sense of belonging and community. We can choose to build a world where respect, empathy, and compassion prevail. Small acts of kindness and support can have a ripple effect, creating a more caring and connected world. This is the challenge Pastor Samuel has given us, to be leaders in our own right, to inspire others through our actions, and to be a force for positive change in our communities. It's a challenge we can all embrace. By accepting this challenge, we commit to making a difference, to being agents of change, and to creating a brighter future for everyone. It's a challenge that can lead to a brighter future for all. Together, we can build a world where understanding and compassion are the norm, and where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Pastor Samuel's story offers hope. Hope that transcends borders, cultures, and religions. His journey is a beacon of light in a world often overshadowed by division and misunderstanding. Hope for a future where different faiths can coexist peacefully and respectfully. A future where mutual respect and understanding are the cornerstones of our communities, where people of all backgrounds come together to celebrate their shared humanity. Hope for a future where understanding triumphs over ignorance, where education and open dialogue pave the way for a more inclusive society. Imagine classrooms filled with students eager to learn about each other's cultures and beliefs, fostering a generation of compassionate and informed individuals. A future where love conquers hate, where acts of kindness and solidarity become the norm, and where communities stand united against prejudice and discrimination. Picture candlelight vigils that bring people together in moments of reflection and unity. His journey is a testament to the power of interfaith dialogue. It shows that through conversation and collaboration, we can break down barriers and build bridges of understanding. Pastor Samuel's efforts highlight the importance of listening and learning from one another. It shows that by embracing our differences, we can build a stronger, more compassionate society. A society where community gardens flourish with the help of diverse hands, and shared meals become opportunities for connection and friendship. Pastor Samuel's story is not just about Ghana, it is a universal message that resonates with people around the globe. His work in various international settings underscores the idea that unity and understanding are achievable, no matter where we are. It's a message for the world, a call to action for all of us to embrace diversity and work towards a more harmonious global community. Imagine a world map illuminated by connections of friendship and cooperation, where international flags wave together in solidarity. A world in desperate need of understanding, empathy, and unity. A world where people from different cultures embrace each other, where peace marches symbolize our collective desire for harmony, and where children of all backgrounds play together without prejudice. Let us all be inspired by Pastor Samuel's courage, his open-mindedness, and his unwavering belief in the power of unity. His passion and dedication remind us that change is possible, and that each of us has a role to play in creating a better world. Let us build bridges of understanding, one conversation, one interaction, one act of kindness at a time. Every small gesture contributes to a larger movement towards peace and unity. Imagine the impact of countless acts of kindness rippling through our communities. Let us create a world where love knows no bounds, where respect transcends differences, and where unity reigns supreme. A world where diverse groups form circles of friendship, where community gatherings reflect our shared commitment to unity.
The old church hummed with anticipation. The air was thick with a sense of expectancy, as if everyone present could feel that something extraordinary was about to unfold. The congregation, a mix of familiar faces and a few new ones, sat in the wooden pews, their eyes fixed on the pulpit. The usual Sunday routine felt different, charged with an energy that was both exciting and unsettling. Sunlight streamed through stained glass windows, painting the pews in vibrant hues. The colorful reflections danced on the polished wood, creating a mosaic of light that seemed almost magical. Each beam of light told a story of faith, hope, and the divine. The beauty of the stained glass was a reminder of the church's rich history and the countless souls who had found solace within its walls. Pastor Samuel, a man known for his gentle demeanor and thoughtful sermons, seemed different this Sunday. His usual calm and composed presence was replaced by an intensity that was palpable. He stood at the pulpit, his hands gripping the edges as if drawing strength from the very wood. The congregation could sense that this was not going to be an ordinary sermon. His eyes held a spark of something new, a hint of urgency. It was as if he had been touched by a revelation, a truth that he could no longer keep to himself. The intensity in his gaze was both captivating and unsettling, drawing the congregation in and holding them in rapt attention. They knew that whatever he was about to say would be important, perhaps even life-changing. As he began to speak, his voice resonated with a conviction that silenced the usual rustle of anticipation. The congregation leaned forward, hanging on to his every word. His voice, usually soft and soothing, was now strong and commanding. It was a voice that demanded to be heard, a voice that carried the weight of truth and the power of conviction. This sermon wasn't about sin or salvation, but about breaking free from the chains of blind faith. Pastor Samuel spoke of the dangers of following without questioning, of accepting without understanding. He urged his congregation to open their minds and hearts, to seek the truth for themselves rather than relying on the interpretations of others. It was a call to intellectual and spiritual freedom. Pastor Samuel's words were careful yet firm. He knew the risks of challenging long-held beliefs, but he also knew the importance of growth and understanding. His message was not one of rebellion, but of enlightenment. He wanted his congregation to see that true faith was not about blind obedience, but about a deep, personal connection with the divine. He spoke of the importance of questioning, of seeking understanding beyond the confines of dogma. He encouraged his congregation to ask the difficult questions, to seek answers that resonated with their own experiences and understanding. He wanted them to see that faith was a journey, not a destination, and that the path to true understanding was paved with curiosity and open-mindedness. He challenged his congregation to engage with other faiths, not with fear or judgment, but with genuine curiosity and respect. He spoke of the beauty of diversity, of the richness that comes from understanding different perspectives. He wanted his congregation to see that there was much to learn from others, and that true faith was about building bridges, not walls. His message was clear. True faith thrives on knowledge, not ignorance. He wanted his congregation to see that the more they understood, the stronger their faith would become. He spoke of the importance of education, of seeking out new experiences and perspectives. He wanted them to see that true faith was not about closing oneself off from the world, but about embracing it with an open heart and mind. It seeks to build bridges, not walls. Pastor Samuel's words were a call to action, a challenge to his congregation to live their faith in a way that was inclusive and compassionate. He wanted them to see that true faith was about connection, about understanding and respecting others. It was a message of hope, of unity, and of the power of love to overcome division and fear. The initial silence that followed Pastor Samuel's sermon was soon broken. The congregation, usually so composed and reverent, found themselves grappling with the unexpected message they had just heard. Whispers rippled through the pews, growing into murmurs of confusion and discontent. The air was thick with uncertainty, as if the very walls of the church were absorbing the shock of the pastor's words. Some congregants wore expressions of shock, their eyes wide and mouths slightly agape, while others openly grumbled their disapproval, shaking their heads in disbelief. The unity that once defined this community seemed to be fracturing. How could their pastor, a man they trusted, question the very foundation of their beliefs? The questions hung in the air, heavy and unspoken, as people turned to one another for answers that no one seemed to have. The church elders, their faces etched with concern, gathered after the service, eager to address the unsettling shift in their pastor's message. They had always been the pillars of this community, guiding it through times of joy and sorrow. Pastor Samuel listened patiently to their concerns, his gaze unwavering. He knew that his words had stirred the waters, but he believed it was necessary for growth. His eyes reflected a calm determination, a quiet strength that spoke volumes. He acknowledged their unease, understanding that change was often met with resistance. He had anticipated this reaction, knowing that challenging long-held beliefs was never easy, but he stood firm in his conviction. He believed that faith was not a stagnant pool, but a flowing river, constantly evolving and deepening with each new understanding. Truth, he explained, does not fear questions. It welcomes them. It is through questioning and seeking that we find deeper meaning and stronger faith. His voice was steady, each word carefully chosen to convey his unwavering belief. It is in the seeking, in the understanding of different perspectives, that our own faith is strengthened. The congregation needed to embrace this journey, to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. Pastor Samuel's message was clear. Faith should be a living, breathing entity, capable of withstanding scrutiny and emerging stronger. Slowly the congregation began to nod, some hesitantly, others with a newfound sense of clarity. The initial shock was giving way to contemplation, and the whispers of discontent were being replaced by thoughtful discussions. Outside the church, groups of people gathered, engaging in deep conversations. They were no longer just followers, they were seekers, explorers of their own faith. The seeds of change had been planted, and Pastor Samuel watched as they began to take root. Pastor Samuel smiled gently, a sense of hope filling his heart. He knew that this was just the beginning of a long journey, but he was ready to walk it with his congregation. Together, they would navigate the challenges and uncertainties, emerging stronger and more united in their faith. The church community, once shaken, was beginning to come together, supporting each other in this new chapter of their spiritual journey. They were learning that faith was not about having all the answers, but about being willing to ask the questions. As the sun set over the church, casting a warm glow over the building, there was a sense of peace. The whispers of discontent had given way to a quiet resolve, a determination to seek the truth and grow together. The journey ahead was uncertain, but they were ready to face it, hand in hand, with faith as their guide. For too long, Pastor Samuel continued, his voice echoing in the hushed church, we have allowed walls of fear and misunderstanding to divide us. These walls, though invisible, are as real and as solid as any brick and mortar. They are built from our fears, our prejudices, and our unwillingness to understand those who are different from us. We have allowed these walls to grow taller and thicker, reinforcing them with every act of ignorance and every word of intolerance. We have allowed walls of fear and misunderstanding to divide us. These walls are not just physical barriers, but emotional and spiritual ones that keep us from truly connecting with one another. We have retreated into our own religious enclaves, isolating ourselves from those who hold different beliefs. In doing so, we have created echo chambers where our own views are constantly reinforced and the voices of others are drowned out. This isolation has led to a lack of understanding and empathy, making it easier to judge and harder to love. He spoke of the dangers of such isolation, of the prejudice and suspicion it breeds. When we isolate ourselves, we begin to see those who are different as the other, as people to be feared or mistrusted. This mindset leads to a cycle of fear and misunderstanding, where each side becomes more entrenched in their own beliefs and less willing to reach out to the other. He reminded them that their faith called for love and compassion, not judgment and exclusion. True faith, he said, is not about building walls to keep others out, but about building bridges to bring people together. It is about seeing the humanity in everyone, regardless of their beliefs or backgrounds, and treating them with the love and respect that we all deserve. The world outside those church walls was vast and diverse, filled with people of different faiths and traditions. It was a world full of opportunities for learning and growth, if only they were willing to step outside their comfort zones and engage with it. The richness of human experience, he said, could only be fully appreciated when we open our hearts and minds to those who are different from us. To truly live their faith, Pastor Samuel argued, they needed to venture beyond their comfort zones, to engage with the world in all its complexity. This meant not just tolerating those who were different, but actively seeking to understand and learn from them. It meant having difficult conversations, challenging their own assumptions, and being willing to change and grow. He urged his congregation to see this not as a threat to their own beliefs, but as an opportunity for growth and enrichment. By engaging with others, they could deepen their own faith and gain a greater understanding of the world around them. They could build a community that was not just tolerant, but truly inclusive, where everyone was valued and respected for who they were. Command. Currently, the VO is 470 words long. Pastor Samuel's words sparked a firestorm of controversy. Local newspapers ran headlines questioning his motives, while radio talk shows buzzed with heated debates. Some accused him of heresy, of leading his flock astray. Others, however, found themselves inspired by his courage and his message of inclusivity. The church became a battleground of ideologies, a microcosm of the larger societal struggle between fear and understanding. Despite the backlash, Pastor Samuel refused to be silenced. He knew that challenging deeply held beliefs would inevitably be met with resistance. But he also knew that true leadership meant speaking truth to power, even when it was uncomfortable. He continued to preach his message of interfaith unity, urging his congregation to choose